That's how I got finished. So we're good. All right. Shabbat shalom. We are back, and of course, we're still doing the at least for today, 15 minutes or less. That's what we're aiming for. Hopefully, within this amount of time, you'll be able to get some understanding. If not, of course, leave your questions, your comments, and all that stuff. So, what we're talking about today is the armor of God. Now, what is armor used for? It's for protection, right? That's how you guard yourself, protect yourself. Armor is used for some type of war. Well, we're talking about the armor for spiritual warfare. So when we're talking about spiritual warfare, if it's spiritual, that means it's not that it's not literal or not actually happening. It's happening. It's just not necessarily always physically. However, it plays out physically. It's a spiritual attack, but it still will play out physically. So we want to see what is it that we're supposed to do in these situations, how we carry ourselves, things like that. But we're going to let the scriptures answer everything before we even have a question, hopefully. So let's get Job 29 and 14, and we'll get right to it.
All right. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me.
Wait. Do you have a jacket called righteousness? A shirt, pants? Go ahead.
My judgment was as a robe, and and a diadem.
So basically, when you're talking about a robe, diadem, clothes in general, you put those on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we are not talking about those things. We are talking about righteousness. And when we're talking about righteousness, we're talking about it in a sense of putting it on. So this is why it was using the parable or the comparison of clothing. So, oh, you see, you got it now, did like a Mitri. Just want to make sure I see you the way you sit, the way you was looking. I said, oh man, we're going to get that form. So when you put on righteousness, that how do you do that? Well, righteousness is an act or action, same thing. So when you put on righteousness, you're actually doing it with your words, the things you do, your responses, things like that. People, just like I can look at you and see what type of clothes you got on. I see you got on a shirt, pants, tie, shorts, jacket, whatever it is that you have on, I can see it on you. People should be able to see the righteousness on you. And how do you know if something is righteous or not? Based on what the Bible says. So I should be able to see your life, see the Bible through your life. Let's continue now. Let's get Psalms 132 and 9. We're going to get another example. That's Psalms chapter 132, verse 9.
Let thy priests be clothed with righteousness, and let thy saints shout for joy.
So the saints, those are the followers of Christ. At this time, Israelites, but what that we're reading about. But now we're living in a time where, saints is usually just another word synonymous for righteousness. So he says, let your priests be clothed with righteousness. So if you are a priest, which translates today into a pastor, teacher, bishop, deacon, anything in which you are over the people as a mediator between them and the Most High, people should be able to see the righteousness on you because you are clothed or clothed, however you want to say it, with righteousness. Now, they got this thing going on now with what was his name, Marvin Sapp. Y'all seen that? When he clothed, huh?
That's
what I said.
So you said Marvis.
No, that's my uncle. But when you talking about Marvin Sapp, y'all seen that? Man, no, I ain't even seen that. That might have something to do with what's going on. I don't know. I got to be quick now because I got time. You should be keeping up with that thing for a while. But so basically, he was in the church and they were taking up the money. You know how they take up tithes and offering and collection and donation and then do it again. Basically, he closed the door. He told the usher close the door and lock it until they make 40K. Now he's basically, under some type of investigation. They're trying to see how things are gonna go with this thing. But for right now, it's looking like they're gonna charge him with kidnapping because they said a woman got up and tried to leave. So once you tell somebody to close the door and lock it, that's one thing. Once somebody try to leave and they can't, that's I ain't gonna say it's a hostage. He will hold them hostage for that paper, but it was more so kidnapping.
So
That's what it was. It was like they got him on account like 1,500 counts of kidnapping. That's what it was. So that's
Because you're gonna get a
it.
charge for each one of them people from the looks of things anyway.
So he tried.
Same thing.
So he stopped people from leaving till he got money.
Till they got the money, right? That's what I say. If this was outside of the church, they would have been considered hostages, right? You rob a bank. What are you trying to get money? You letting anybody go? No, you say get down on the floor or be quiet. Don't move. Whatever it is, I ain't never robbed no bank, but I've watched the movies and they tell them don't do something, and they got the gun in there. The difference is when you have a gun, of course, that ups the charge. I don't think he had no gun, but I'm just saying I doubt he had a gun. But it's more so you're still using your power, and then they have a particular charge associated with that whenever you're doing any type of religious thing. So that's a whole nother charge. But my thing is, the people are still. I watch the comments, I read the comments, whatever. The people are still supporting. This is crazy. They still support them, and I can't understand it. That it's kind of Stockholm syndrome because when you've been held hostage for so long, I mean I think that's what they call it. But it's kind of like, man, how y'all still supporting this? You see, the scriptures just said you have to be clothed with righteousness if you're a priest. It ain't nothing righteous about what he just did, but they gonna still support it. That's nonsense. But we're gonna keep it moving though. We finish this?
No,
All right, let's go and do that one. Isaiah 6, 61 and 10.
Isaiah 6.
You got to be a little bit louder now. Isaiah 6 and 10. My fault.
Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart and convert and be healed.
I told you it was 61 and 10. I knew it. I knew something. But because we read it, we'll deal with it, I just say this, dude. It says, lest they see with their eyes and hear with their ears and understand with their heart and convert and be healed. That's what you want to be able to do in that situation. But we're not reading about that situation. We're supposed to read Isaiah 61 and 10 in these 15 minutes. Let's roll.
Which is
This right here. We're talking about the armor of God. 61 and 10. All right. You woke? You good?
Yeah. I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my God, for he hath clothed me with the garments of salvation.
There we go. That's what I want to hear. Keep going.
He hath covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decketh himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorneth herself with her jewels.
All right. So just like in a wedding, how they dress up for the occasion and they look beautiful. He said, this is how you're supposed to look when it comes to salvation. Everybody talks about salvation, being saved, and all of these things. But from what I'm reading, it says, one more time, I will greatly rejoice in the Lord. My soul shall be joyful in my God, for he has clothed me with the garments of salvation. So once again, I should be able to see the salvation on you. People got to tell you now that they're saved because you look at their lives and you can't tell. So they got to tell you all the time. They boasted about it. You should never even have to say anything about your relationship with God. And people should be able to look at the righteousness that you're clothed with and be able to tell, yeah, they walk with God. Yeah, they deal with the Most High. That's how it's supposed to be because it's a beautiful thing, which is why it's compared to the ornaments of a wedding. But at the same time, there's something on that person you should be able to see. Let's continue. Colossians 3 and 12. That's Colossians chapter 3, verse 12.
Put on, therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy,
So he's telling you once again what to put on, but now he's telling you mercy and kindness, humbleness and meekness, long suffering, which some of these things come down to the fruits of the spirit. But he's saying, if you are the chosen, that's what elect is, right? If you are the chosen of God, we should be able to see this on you. Go ahead.
Forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against thee, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye.
So that's a part of what you're putting on. Forgiveness. Go ahead.
And above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness.
So if you're putting on charity, you're putting on love. I should be able to see love and forgiveness with kindness, humbleness, meekness, long suffering. Go ahead.
And let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to the which also
to thee, which also
are called, which also ye are called in one body, and be ye thankful.
Thankfulness, peace, all these things. Let's get Ephesians 6 and 10. All these things are what we should be able to see on you. So we're seeing the laws and commandments, but we're also seeing it play out in long suffering, meekness, humility, things like that. So all of these things are a part of the armor of God that we're putting on, just in different ways. All right, Ephesians 6 and 10. Let's go. Let's go.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil.
The tricks of the enemy. How much of the armor we put on?
The whole armor.
Put on the whole thing. That's where we mess up. We do a little bit and then we stop. It's too heavy to walk around with all that armor on. I don't feel like putting all that armor on. He said put the whole thing on. Go ahead.
For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places.
That's what we want. So we know now the reason he's telling us all these spiritual things is because that's where the fight is against. Go ahead.
Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand.
So, you got to do everything to stand, which is put on the whole armor. He's telling you once again, put the whole thing on now. Go ahead.
Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness.
All right, righteousness, truth. Go ahead.
And your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace.
Peace. Go ahead.
Above all, taking the shield of faith.
Above all, it don't matter if you do these things if you don't have faith. You must believe. Go ahead.
Wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God.
You got to have the sword and salvation. Go ahead.
Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit,
mm-hmm.
and watching thereunto with all perseverance and
perseverance.
Mm-hmm. And supplication for all saints.
So this is what all those things come down to. You got to always pray with. A lot of people don't have prayer activated in their daily life. So it don't matter how much of this you do if you don't have the prayer and the faith. That's why he says put on the whole armor of God. Now, of course, we got a full video in which we explain these things, each one of these things even more. But we just wanted to sum it up in the 15 minutes or less. Hope somebody got some understanding. Appreciate your time. Peace and blessings.